aggro, but obviously not amazing. Um, you're very weak versus all of the control variants, and he wrote an article on Star City if you have premium. It's like you can go check it out. He lists he doesn't know how to fix them. I also do not know how to fix those issues. Um, but it's got some of the more powerful cards in the format, like History of Benalia is insane, Adonto's very good right now, Tocatli is very good right now, Aurelia is very good right now. Rekindling Phoenix is one of those like hard to deal with threats. However, like more lava coils are popping up. The only two cards that I'm not like super sold on are these two shocks, which he mentioned they were the 49th and 60th card in the deck. So don't know if he's positive they belong in it either. But yeah, I wanted to give his list a try. There's an Ilmo CS tomorrow, and I'm looking to play this deck in it. So I wouldn't mind a second Justice Strike. I really like this card. It's like one of our ways to get around Doom Whisper and stuff, which I think some of the black-green decks are going to move more in that area. Because they need some card to beat the Arclight decks, and I feel like that might be really the only thing they can do. Shouldn't talk in absolutes like that, but I don't think going bigger works well. Maybe they just want to go smaller. Not super excited to see that. I just don't even really want to play this card. Probably won't protect it. Maybe he'll use a removal spell on it. I kind of don't want to play it just because of Goblin Chain Whirler. These are like the only cards I would sideboard out in the whole match, so that lets you know how unhappy I am with them. Now go ahead and kill that while we can. Should I probably sideboard out the Resplendent Angel too? Yeah, they have the card Lifelink on them, but they're way too slow, and I'm going to want to be using Deafening Clarions. Could slightly be better than History, I'm not sure. I'd be super excited to trade this for this. And if he has two removal spells for the Rekindling Phoenix, there's a good chance that the Lyra is just going to do the Lyra things. It's obviously not guaranteed. They still have two other cards in their hand, plus they're drawing a card, but okay. It's Experimental Frenzy's probably the only card left now that we're super worried about. Hello, I'm Lyra. How are you? Well, that's not good. So if we attack, they drop to 12, we go to 16, they attack back and put us at 9. I think we'd better wait to attack. don't know if waiting lets us win the game. I think we can attack at least once. We lose 2 damage in this process, but if we draw something next turn, like it really pays off, I think. Hey Juko, what's up? And we didn't draw anything. We lose 2 damage again, but they don't have any cards in their hand, so I think I'm willing to keep trading that 2 damage for 5. Just trying to win the game. So we're going to go to 14 back to 7 now. I feel like if they don't draw Frenzy, double burn spell, and we draw any spell, we'll probably be good enough. Any spell other, well, even Lyra might work. Well, we just didn't draw another spell the rest of this game, so now we're forced into attacking. Starbucks? I've never been to a Starbucks. So they have 8 damage there. Anything that deals 4 kills us, so like 2 burn spells kill us. They're not conceding, so I assume we're dead, but I mean, you can see what we drew, so. Obviously, they draw 2 burn spells. Oh, no, they didn't. I still think that was our better option than just like waiting for them to attack. Because they could just be attacking with this card and then they could trade a shock into this. 5 a.m. here and I haven't slept and don't plan on it. It is 8 a.m. here and I have not slept. And I don't plan on it either. I plan on going to Friday Night Magic tonight. Alright, so we're going to dump these Adantos pretty quickly. For some Sillaways. Also at least want the Deafening Clarions. Not exactly sure what to do after that. Resplendent Angels can just win a game. But the histories provide more blockers. This is how Brad had his list set. And this is a pretty abysmal draw. I don't think we can keep it versus our opponent. His hand's much better. I need land, so I can't keep that. Ooh, one of our guild gates. Did I remember to put 3 guild gates in our deck? I don't know, we'll have to check in a minute. To Catley. Your Goblin Chain Whirler is not the hero you want it to be now. Still obviously very good. Can't block, won't block. That's a pretty early Frenzy. They had 4 cards in their hand still. Well, we could just be dead then. Like, our hand was abysmal. I think I'm going to double block here. Try to get some value out of this shock. That's decent. So I traded a Catley and a Shock for a Chain Whirler. I don't know if that's actually worth it, but whatever. And here's Lyra. Don't have 2 burn spells on top of your deck. Honestly, not real likely to mathematically. Obviously not blocking. This is kind of a nombo. Still just going to cast it though. A backup Lyra now, which is really nice. So they're killing this. Feels like a gamble. Oh, that's so annoying because that's obviously a terrible play to make. What are your odds of having a second burn spell there? Next to none? That's definitely frustrating. I don't think you're ever supposed to make that play. We're probably dead this game, but like I said, we drew pretty abysmally. It's pretty reasonable that they'll have 2 burn spells now. I'm a little jaded that they got lucky last turn, though. Hey, it's another frenzy. Honestly, not doing that bad, considering the board situation. Just another random burn spell off the top to hope. Can't really beat them when they keep hitting 2 out of 3 cards as burn spells or back-to-back burn spells with frenzies on top. Yeah, we're dead now. Well, we could draw Deafening Clarion and still be in this game. Like Deafening Clarion into Lyra. Alright, we're dead. Just gonna run it back, I think. Not gonna change anything. Just have to hope for a better draw. It's a better draw if we find lands. It's actually a really good draw if we find lands, specifically white. It's obviously pretty bad if we don't. Excuse me. Well, that's not the land we need. It's another very good card in the match, though. Land? Well, this is fun. We like... I feel like we got pretty unlucky with our draws the first 2 rounds. Like, we drew lots of lands and lots of bad cards, and then we finally draw our lands, but we can't play our spells. We're playing a lot of lands, too. There's 25 in this build. Fortunately, 3 of them are guild gates. Fun times. If it counts, I don't think we can lose if we hit a 4th and 5th land, like, say, over the next 2 turns. I mean, they could have some kind of experimental frenzy and go super wild, or they could, like, untap and have a siege gang commander, and all of those things would be pretty good, or good enough versus our hand, but... If they threw that lightning strike just randomly there, it almost guarantees that they have a frenzy. I guess we're going to play the biggest one. This one can't get lava coiled, and if we draw a land on the following turn, it gains life with the Lyra. Well, hopefully they won't get lucky and keep hitting 2 burn spells off the top of this Frenzy. Like they did all last game. Could have just went ahead and cast Ixalan's Binding on it, but, like, honestly, mathematically speaking, this Frenzy shouldn't be able to beat us from here. So if he runs hot, he just runs hot. Not going to worry about it too much. Oh, look at their top card. How lucky. Actually think Experimental Frenzy is good for us. So I'll play this one. I'm not worried about gaining life. Oh wow. I expected them to blow up their own Frenzy there, but I guess their hand's bad too. So probably Ixalan's Binding that. Just gives them too much mana to work with. Alright, well, I know I'm killing this. I'm just trying to figure out how I'm killing it. I think I'm going to kill the Binding because it gives us a better opportunity to play double spell on the following turn. I think I'm just going to kill both, actually. So they have to draw like double removal or lightning coil or something like that to beat the Phoenixes from here. Or like single removal into Chain Whirler, just like a lot of 2-card combinations. I kind of had this Lyra in my hand almost the whole game and not felt the need to cast it. Hey, look what they had to kill. No instant speed removal, please. Now that was pretty brutal. Because the odds are they'll be able to kill it. Hopefully they can't kill it and this. We know they had a bunch of like dead cards in their hand earlier, or we assumed that they did, but I'm really worried about like kicked Fight with Fire. Hey, what do you know? It's a kicked Fight with Fire. This game isn't even close if we draw our land on time. That's the tilt of this. Like, it's not even close if we get the game, or the land on time. We won't beat another frenzy at this point. It's like pretty obvious they have a second frenzy in their hand too. We'd have to draw exactly Lyra next turn. There's a burn spell in his hand too. Yeah, well, there's all of our lands. And a third fight with fire. Oh, it's a Banefire. Whatever. I think that's ridiculous that we lost that game. It actually sours my entire mood for the whole stream. He had to get insanely lucky and make bad plays in game 2 to get there, and in game 3, I felt like we were really far ahead. I could have made different lines and potentially won game 3, but like we were so far ahead, and the game was only even close because we missed land drops. And then after we missed land drops, we hit a land every turn the rest of the game, basically. Except, I think there was one turn we drew a shock or something. It's definitely a tilt. We'll keep it. We have to hit a bunch of lands, but it's whatever. It's the bad thing about this deck. Like, it's very mana hungry. You have no way to draw extra cards or anything, so once you start missing lands, you just lose. Of course. Should probably just kill that. But I'm being greedy because they mulligan. Kind of hoping they put an obsession on it and don't have to dive down or spell pierce for once in my entire life. Wanted to use the Lava Coil on that turn, but if they just have a Tempest Gen, we lose. Instead, I'd rather just miss my land drop again. But don't worry, the 20 or 21 land deck that has only drawn one extra card will surely have all of theirs. Spoiler, I was right. They have a Merfolk Trickster. We're just dead. I'm not going to try to play around it. It means they have a dive down, but at least we're gaining 4 life. Have another counter spell. This is going to be real bad. Just not playing around anything right now because we literally can't beat anything. Basically, want all of these removal things. Oh, I guess we had a Tocatli play. The Trickster didn't actually do anything, did it? Yeah, the Trickster didn't do anything. It's not an actually reasonable plan for us to beat their deck, is there? None of our cards really do anything. This is apparently Venom 1. I didn't know he had a hidden account. I guess it's not hidden anymore. I am streaming. Kinda just want to kill that. And just get smashed by a Trickster or Tempest Chin here later. Rip. And I'm taking the greedier line. I'm just trying to get there. Whoops. I wasn't supposed to let him attack because of Charter Course. Well, he didn't have one, so I guess that's fine. Interesting. If you use a dive down to save that, does that mean you have the wizard counter spells? Let's say yes, so I'm going to play my worst card. Felt like he had one of these. It feels like he has 2 of these, though. Which is an issue here. Right on time, 8 lands. It's not playing lands either, which means those are probably counter spells. Maybe one creature. Still on a 6-turn clock now. Want want. I like how now if I hit a Clarion, I'm dead. Like, I don't have an out now. I have to draw like Lyra now. And it resolve. But no, we'll draw the 10th land. I really do have to draw like Lyra now. Because Clarion leaves us dead to this. Yes, technically we can gain 5 life. No, we're just dead now. Can't attack her, I'm dead. Well, I'm dead if I use it. I'm also dead if I don't use it. Yep, 0-2. You didn't have to counterspell that. I was dead on board. Dead on board and hellbent. Has every match tonight been like this? Like, legitimately not got to play Magic yet, have we? I don't think I'm exaggerating when I say that. I don't think we've played a game of Magic yet. Should be a hard match in general, though. I think that card's not good, but people like it. Not a fan of that. Still just not a fan of it. Not a fan of that either. That seems way too premature unless they drew another counter spell. Well, now we know not to attack this turn. Alright, cards that I think are terrible in this match. I think Adanto's pretty terrible. I think these are fine, but like they're not great. I think Silhouette's actually very good. I don't know what else to take out. I think I'll take out the bindings. They're just slow. I want to spend 4 mana on a removal spell that just like gets beat by a Spell Pierce or a Dive Down. Eternal Weekend starts in about a half an hour, give or take. Players' meetings at 9. No, have to mulligan. And keep. It's not great, but he mulliganed as well. Actually, I'm going to put that on the bottom. Odds of us drawing lands are pretty high, and we have to have spells or we lose. Good chance this gets counterspelled. Again, not a real big fan. Well, if they have two of them, it makes it a little bit better. Alright, our kingdom for a lightning strike. Or another Silhouette. I said lightning strike, but I meant justice strike. I guess I'm going to play this one. I'm just going to play this one. Whatever it is, I expected to get counterspelled, so I want to play the worst one in our hand. Feel like whatever I play now also gets counterspelled, so you're overall the worst one. Yeah, we're just dead. Double Curious Obsession. We may have one turn to draw a Clarion. And that's May. Don't even know if Clarion's good enough at this point. Well, that one certainly isn't good enough at this point. Every one of our early removal spells in the deck that we have. Can't do any better in that regard. And we have to mulligan again. Fortunately, we can't keep that card even though we need it. It was a good draw, I guess. Go ahead and see if they have one of their 1,000 counter spells. They do. And they have an... No, it's not an obsession. Doesn't make sense. When an opponent makes plays that don't make sense. I kind of just want to slam this. I feel like it's better than a killing the Tempest Djinn. There's some chance we get to kill the Tempest Djinn later. But we know the Lyra's good for the rest of the game. And even if their big plays sleep, that's not enough to kill us. And taps them out. The problem now is we can't really beat a lot of different things. That being one of them. I guess we can still attack here. If they have a second Merfolk Trickster, we get pretty brown, but it could be the last turn this thing attacks. I guess they have another Trickster. It's a pretty good set of cards then. Oh, they just don't know how First Strike works. Wow. Well, that felt good. We killed a card we had no right to kill. If they're attacking, that means they have another dive down, right? Nope. I guess not. Can we trade it for one of those? It's probably too risky to see if they have a dive down. Sure. They're closing in on having double the lands of our opponent. Who would have guessed after we draw lands for like 73 turns that they would have drawn another counterspell? And that's game, boys and girls. We have to have a Clarion now to win. And it has to resolve. And we're dead. Could have attacked with this last turn and traded, but quite honestly, I'd given up in my mind already. I'm on tilt today. I just too mad, don't want to play, kind of pissed off. Legitimately don't think I've got to play Magic. And that aggravates me so much. Where'd the match go? What the hell? I didn't click anything. That was weird. What the shit? I again did not click anything. Why is that going away? Hey, we have to mulligan again. Did we just scroll that to the bottom? This is one of our very best matches. No match is good when you can't play your spells. He's saying press F6. Oh, what fun. Well, that had to be a land to have a chance. It wasn't. Can't remember a day I've been madder playing Magic. Alright, well, we definitely want these here. We definitely want these. We definitely want these. That's the easiest part. Cards we don't want. This card's pretty bad. These are pretty bad. Don't know if he's playing Electromancer or not. Just gonna take him out anyway. I probably want this. Guess the next worst cards in the deck are things like these. Huh. I guess because they just run lava coils and they'll find them that those are worse than these. Yeah, it's keepable. Alright, opponent. Stop wasting time. I wonder when Vintage Champs is going to come on. Mm-hmm. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Really is decent this match. Probably sideboarded in beacon boats, but can't use it yet. Would have loved to have drawn a land here. I feel like this card's really good and is underplayed. Like, I'm not sure this card could even be main deckable. I'm not 100% sure. I think it's underplayed, at least out of the sideboard. Hey, Wackarine, what's up? I'm getting destroyed today. Not played very much Magic at all. Got paired versus several bad matches and made several bad play mistakes. It's been a great day. Oh, really? I stream every single day, 482 in a row. I had to look. Yep, 482 days in a row. I can't remember the last time I've won, though. It's been like 4 or 5 or 6 days or something since we've won. If he throws burn spells at this, I'll pay to life. Well, I stream all over. I'm trying to get this stream done before Eternal Weekend starts, but I don't think I'll get there. I do think we'll win this game, though. I feel like they need to hit some pretty nice things to come back from this one. Don't think that really counted. I'll get around to it at some point. I just hate 3-color decks. You know me. I can't draw land in 2-color decks. Like, why would I want to play a 3-color deck? Opponent has 2 radical ideas, but they're down to 3 cards. They also have a beacon boat for the Aurelia. I don't know what casting another one of those does. Like, you have to have a shock as well to kill the Aurelia, or now you're just dead? When you could have at least used a beacon boat. I guess you have the shock. You left yourself dead on board when you... Okay, red mana. It's a shock. Sure. Well, I can't think of anything they could have that beats us here. They don't have enough cards to have maximized velocity. I guess they could have Radical Idea'd into a maximum velocity, then Radical Idea'd again, played a land and Enigma Drake. No, they didn't have enough cards to do all of that. Alright, I'm just going to run it back. One to one. They didn't show us any counter spells that game. Makes our Lyras a lot better. This hand's a medium, but it's a keep. It's definitely a keep when they're mulliganing. They're down to 5. They're down to 4. I did lose to somebody that went to 4 the other day. They're at 3. I don't think we'll lose to 3, assuming we hit lands, obviously. Tempted just to concede to them. I guess I'll tell them not to concede. I don't necessarily win. I could just not draw another land. This happened today already. Yeah, they're 2 and 2. That means they get a bye to the 3-2. All they have to do is not concede. Go Adonto. Hey, we hit land. Now I feel pretty good about the game. You can cast all our removal spells. To just have like a land and running Crackling Drakes and we don't find another land? Like, what if they just have like land into 3 Crackling Drakes and we don't find another land? Well, that's not a land. They've already showed me Cannonade, so I guess I'm going to play this one. It's harder for them to deal with. JK. They've hit F6, so they don't have a shock. I don't know if it'd be good enough now. We have 3 removal spells, so it wouldn't even be good enough now, but based on opening hands, it wasn't a cinch. I'm gonna Daredevil that opt, I think, and look for a land. Now I kind of just want to Daredevil their face. If we Daredevil to shock, we were presenting lethal next turn, but we would have Shivan Fire too. We'd still be presenting lethal. Though they probably wouldn't have killed the Daredevil in that situation. I'm just going to play this one, deal extra damage. The first one we drew, we had a Tocatlian play, which is kind of a nombo. And second one we drew, I'm going to go ahead and concede before he messes up. I don't want to give him the opportunity to not. And he can't kill both of these threats and block next turn, so we know we've got this one. So I think that's the second time we've drawn one. What deck was it versus? It was round 1, I think. Oh, it was versus red deck wins. So yeah, you have to have the Tocatlis in there as well. Sometimes you just get punished. Felt like we got pretty unlucky. We were in a spot in game 2 where he had a Frenzy in play, and he didn't have a whole lot of mana, and he had to throw a burn spell at a Lyra blind, and then hit one, and he did, and we kind of didn't really do anything after that. And then the next game, I could have punted, I could have binding his Frenzy, and maybe I was supposed to, but he only had 4 lands, and we had double Phoenix plus Lyra. So I didn't really expect the game to go on long enough, but he managed to be able to stall till he got to 9 mana or something like that, and he sacked his Frenzy, and he had double Lava Coil, or no, I think he had Lava Coil, Lightning Strike, and then double Fight with Fire, double kicked Fight with Fire when he'd already played a Fight with Fire earlier. Yeah, I think the aggro decks are some of the hardest decks for us to beat, because they can really get under us, and being able to play multiple spells a turn can beat you when you're playing one spell a turn. We didn't draw any Clarions or anything like that. Yeah, I was super surprised he lived that long. Maybe I was supposed to just binding the Experimental Frenzy. I felt he had another Experimental Frenzy in his hand when he dropped it on turn 4. Because I thought that was way too early to play an Experimental Frenzy if you had any relevant cards whatsoever in your hand. So, maybe it was wrong for me not just to Frenzy him, but I don't know. Whatever it was, I punted it. I don't know whether I got unlucky or whether I played bad. Like, I don't know if my play was right. And a lot of our games tonight, we've just like missed our fourth land a bunch, or we've drawn like 10 lands and 6 spells, or 10 lands and 7 spells. Like those type of games have happened the entire night. I don't think it's a mix of both. Either A, got unlucky but played correctly, or B, got or played very poorly. And I'm not a good enough player to know which one it was, but it was one of the two. It was definitely one of the two. I just don't know which. Like, it's easy to say on hindsight that it was me punting because I lost the game due to it, but like, whether you win or lose is irrelevant in my opinion. It's whether you made the actual correct play. Like, which one of those plays wins more often than the other, and that I'm not sure of. I feel like Lyra's pretty good here. It was very tempted to kill the Electromancer, but we're in a spot where I feel like it's going to be hard for him to kill this. He doesn't have a ton of spells. So, like, it's going to be hard for him to get up to 5 spells and a beacon boat, and then we can, like, lava coil whatever he buys back next turn. Like, I'm the least results orientated person you'll ever meet. Like I try to use sampling of datas and, like, how things play out in my mind. Alright, no dive down, please. GG. Yeah, so we'll tell this opponent the same thing we told the last opponent. I think I won all of these. He showed us Enigma Drake and Electromancer, so that's kind of weird. I think I'm going to sideboard like this then. We'll keep the shocks for Electromancers, but like maybe that's overkill. Are we missing Eternal Weekend yet? We'll keep it. There's no removal, and we really need removal, but he's mulliganing. Eternal Weekend's not on yet, or if it is, it's not on a channel I'm following. Eternal Weekend is the Vintage Championships and the Legacy Championships. I think they also have some old school events, but like they don't stream them. One of my favorite events of the year to watch. Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and kill that this game. Unlike last game, we have no pressure on the board right now. Whereas last game, I was pretty sure we were just running him over regardless. Hmm. Like Corey and Brad mentioned on the Star City Live versus Live Tuesday that they didn't like Electromancer, but for me, Electromancer's always been the scariest card in the deck. I would trade 4 life to kill his thing. They mentioned, I don't remember everything they said, like I'm pretty half asleep at that time of day. It's like right at bedtime. But they mentioned some of the things like it was just less consistent. That like, yeah, sometimes you had like God draws with it, but just like putting in all the 1 mana cantrips let you do your thing more consistently. Which could or could not be true. I don't know. I mean, obviously, I'm sure they tested it. Corey played it at the Grand Prix, but it's just not the experience I've had with the card. Most of the experiences I've had with the card is if I untap with an Electromancer, I win the game. Or if I play one on like turn 6 or 7, I win the game. Those have been my experiences. Pretty sure I would trade this for one of those. Because we have the second one in our hand. Seems a little bad, but with the second one in our hand, I think it's fine. We get 5 damage through that way as well. And it's better to kill the Crackling Drake. Opponent's not paying attention to what I wrote, so like I'm going to have to be pretty particular here and maybe concede a little ahead of time. Put on bottom. I was only hesitant not to do that because I was a little bit afraid of Beacon Boat, but like Beacon Boat's going to be good either way. Probably trade that for one of those as well. Again, like Beacon Boat's kind of scary to me. Just realized I said I get 5 damage last game, but I meant I only get 4. I'm just not going to trade it this time. This card's super good versus them. Basically screaming at the top of my lungs, please no Niv Mizzet. Electromancer. It's good versus a lot of decks, that's for sure. Ooh, that was a pretty good draw. This thing has trample. This thing has 4 toughness, so. Should we go ahead and concede and not risk it? Hmm. I'm thinking about conceding here because I really don't want to knock somebody out of a prize. It's something that aggravates me. If they untap and brick, they could just concede. But like their deck's not 100% dead here. They could actually draw out of this. So like I really want to see the natural conclusion to the game as well. It's another good one. Hopefully you just have maximum velocity and go for it. And get sealed away. They have a beacon boat for our next threat. Uh-oh. What's up, Siggy? Hey, sweet Matt, what's up? I have a beacon boat in their graveyard, so the Resplendent Angel does nothing. Like our 10th land in 17 cards has been too many. That's a pretty good one, especially when we know their beacon boat's gone. So now they have to find another beacon boat. And we know they don't have an instant way to kill this, so we're just going to go ahead and concede. Like, I don't want to risk letting them beat us. And I guess we can play game 3 just to play it. Let's see if Eternal Weekend's on or not. If Eternal Weekend's already streaming, we're done. If not, we'll play game 3 for funsies. No Eternal Weekend yet. Just check Randy's Twitters. Maybe there's an actual start date. Hand's pretty good. They're mulliganing again. Every time we draw a Danto, by the way, our hand's pretty good. Danto's a little boy. Maybe. Actually, it could be a girl. I think it is a girl. I don't know. Whatever it is, they're punching the crap out of a dino. He could be right. It's also not even punching it. Now that I look closer, that's a sword. I really thought it was just punching a dino in the belly. Yeah, I'm blind. I bluff. I have been called. Hopefully they put enough spells in our graveyard that this Justice Strike is relevant. Man, they're having a think on this one. So last game we drew like 10 or 11 lands and 17 cards or something like that. This game we've drawn 3 and can't play our spells. Wah, wah, wah. They did not put enough stuff in their graveyard for me to be happy. Please resolve. No dive down, please. Yay! At some point, these Drake decks are going to start playing one or two moments, or momentary blink, or moment of blinkness, or whatever it's called. The blink, momentary blink. I don't know what it's called. And that's going to be a sad day. At some point, that's going to happen. You just wait. Who was the quite good? Yeah, I feel like that's the next evolution of that deck. They're gonna work a blink or two in because I think it fixes a lot of matches. Her removal is currently still not good. Oh yeah, wow, he's playing Drakes. I figured he'd play black green for sure. I guess if you can't put counters on him, it's not good enough for him. I almost want to just take the Electromancer, but I want to be able to attack with both. Oh no, I pressed the button too soon! No! No! I pressed the button. That was one of those like punts that can't happen in real life but can cost you a game. No! Quite wrecked there. He should be at 5, facing 6 damage here. Do you like our opponent's choice of basics? Are we missing Eternal Weekend yet? Doesn't appear to be yet. My opponent did not draw well. That card was probably pretty good here. I'm going to concede at this point. I think it's pretty safe to say that between the Daredevil and the Shock that one of these would kill him. I'm not going to give him a chance to actually die. Like I said, I can't get a prize at this point, so we're just playing the match for the sake of it being fun and for the video to be a little bit better and stuff like that. I don't think he could beat both of these. If he has like 2 negates or whatever, he just had 2 negates or whatever, and we'll never know. But yeah, didn't go very well today. We got smashed by 2 mono blue decks. We lost a red deck win, so basically we lost to 3 aggro decks that ran under us, and we beat, or potentially beat, 2 Drake decks. Which Drake is one of our better matches. Aggro decks are really hard to beat. The red deck wins is like less hard than mono blue, but I don't know how to beat mono blue. But anyway, this is Brad's deck. It still feels pretty good. Again, it's a very mana heavy deck, and if you don't draw your lands, like you're kind of just like locked into playing one powerful spell a turn. So there's like not a lot of play and not a lot of maneuvering in the deck. They are when it like comes to sideboarding and making decisions, but like there's very few turns where like you're making a decision on what you're going to play. Even though I obviously like punted multiple of those games. Left myself dead on board one game, for example, but like I legitimately don't think we even had an out to come back, so leaving myself dead on board I don't think was relevant. I don't know, maybe we could have drew like running Lyras, but I have no idea. Anyway. The deck still feels fine. The Shocks feel a little out of place, but everything else feels pretty good. We didn't bring into Immortal Suns any, but we didn't play versus anything mid-rangey at all. And I don't think that's the format as a whole. I think the format's got a lot of mid-rangey stuff in it. I would play this deck again. I would play this exact 75 again. I would consider maybe like putting a second Justice Strike in over a Shock. Maybe cutting the Shocks for like an extra land to Justice Strike. I have no idea. Long story short, still like the deck even though I did terrible with it today. And we're going to up off here and we're going to make some dinner before Eternal Weekend starts. I don't think there's anybody to host, unfortunately, but I will double check. Jim Davis is playing. Alright, we can host Jim Davis. Playing Modern. I really hate hosting Modern players, but nobody else I follow is playing Standard right now. And Jim Davis is a pretty entertaining stream. But take care, everybody, and thanks for stopping by, as always.